Perhaps you've heard it said that God would never give you more than you can handle. Unfortunately, that statement is not in the Bible. In fact, it's very likely that you will experience more than you can handle. In 2 Corinthians 1:8, the Apostle Paul writes, "For we do not want you to be unaware, brothers, of the affliction we experienced in Asia. For we were so utterly burdened beyond our strength that we despaired of life itself. Indeed, we felt that we had received the sentence of death. But that was to make us rely not on ourselves, but on God, who raises the dead." In Matthew 26:38, Jesus says, "My soul is very sorrowful, even to death." This is Jesus we're talking about here. Remember King David? Yeah, the guy who beat a 9-foot giant with a stone in a sling? In Psalm 13, he prays for strength, lest I sleep the sleep of death, lest my enemy says I have prevailed over him. In Psalm 88, he writes, "I cry out day and night before you." So the Bible says nothing about God keeping you from more than you can handle. What it does say is that God would not allow you to be tempted beyond your ability to resist. That's in 1 Corinthians 10:13. In other words, there's never an excuse to do evil. But when it comes to hardships, they can get pretty rough and teach us to rely on God. He is still gracious, delivering us even from the grave through the sacrifice and resurrection of Christ.
I need to be down there where you are. Why? So you don't get an uncomfortable shot up my nose. There are 3 ways for me to get there. I can walk down all by myself. That is one option. The second option is you can carry me down. That would be an option. The third option is kind of a synergistic sort of affair. I kind of make my way down and you help me too. Now the question is, which one of those ways of getting down the stairs will give you the most credit? Which way of getting from A to B will give the person who assists or carries me down the most attaboys? It's pretty obvious, the one where you would carry me. If anybody observed you carrying me down the stairs, they'd say, "Wow, you're strong. That was very nice of you to do that. You did it all, and you will get all of the credit." If I walk myself down, you're not going to get any credit because, well, you didn't do anything. But if you simply help me, people observing that transport would go, "Well, yeah, he helped him down, but they did it together, and Todd did it on his own 2 feet with some help." While you would get some credit, you would get some glory, if you will, the maximum amount of glory that you can receive by transporting me down the stairs is by actually doing it all. The same thing is true with God. If you and I are contributing anything to our salvation, to accomplishing something good, then you and I can get a little bit of credit. When we are weak, then He is strong. God does everything for us. Jesus said in John, "Without me," 15, Rexella, "you can't do anything." We can't do anything without God helping us. And when we think that God He gives us a lot to bear, but it's not more than we can bear, people will look at that and say, "Well, it was hard, but they also helped themselves get through it." That is not the way that it works out theologically. God regularly gives us more than we can bear. Why? So that He can be given the credit for carrying us through it.